Hello and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Bit of a groan today, bit of a grizzle and a bitch. Where is it? Here we go, the ZMR250. Now, I reviewed this frame and I said that, I was a bit unhappy with some of the issues of the ZMR250, but I had to acknowledge it's a cheap frame. And as a cheap frame, it flies reasonably well. It doesn't fly as well as the other mini quads I've got, but it flies reasonably well. But the more I'm using this ZMR, the less I'm liking it from the perspective of its lack of durability. Because when I first did the review, people said, oh, I've got one of those and I throw it around and I've never broken anything. I pointed out I thought the arms were weak, and I've been through quite a few arms on this thing, and I'm finding there are other parts of this frame that really just don't stand up to abuse. And let's face it, if you've got a mini quad, you want to fly it like you stole it. So having to nanner it around is not an option. And I'm getting to the point where I almost don't qualify for Team Nanner anymore. I'm faster, lower, doing crazier things, making more mistakes, and that of course puts more stress on the airframe. Flew this one, every time I fly this thing and I bring it back to the workshop, I have to repair it. Something breaks or something is wrong, other than just normal props. This is normal wear and tear. But I mean, yesterday I was out flying this and I flew into a tree. Okay, I flew into a tree. It happens all the time with my other frames, and I've never broken anything on any of my other frames. All I've ever had to do is just change props. Now this one, as I say, I've broken several arms, and so these aren't even the original arms anymore. I've run out of spare arms, actually. I've completely run out of spare arms, and now I've broken another one. It's actually delaminated in the impact with the tree. But more than that, it's actually taken out some of the little posts as well. The screws they give you to go into these vertical spaces, they're too short. They only engage 2 or 3 threads. So naturally, any kind of stress, they just rip the threads out of the soft aluminium posts. It's not good enough. They should provide longer screws. I mean, there's a lot you can do to improve this frame, but intrinsically the design and the components are made to a price. And that's a very, very low price. That's a $30 to $35 US price for the all carbon version. But when I look at how much I've spent on replacement and how much downtime there's been on this machine, to be honest, I'd go out and buy a brand name frame that's just going to stand up. For example, here's my Blackout. Now the Blackout has been through more punishment than the ZMR. Honestly, it has been absolutely hammered. It's my oldest, the first mini quad I ever got, and it has been totally thrashed, plowed into the ground so many times. I think the only thing that's in danger of wearing out on this frame are the threads that holds the props on, because I've been putting new props on at such a frantic rate, I'm sure I've worn the threads out. But that's it. The arms are still really stiff. There's no sign of any flexing in the arms like there is on the ZMR. I tell a lie, actually. I have broken a few of the nylon bolts that hold the top frame on in some really bad impacts. They're just little nylon bolts. I've actually replaced them now with metal bolts because I didn't really see the point. And since then, had no more problems. They stand up to all sorts of crashes. No worries at all. The frame is stiff as a board. And it just flies so well. It actually handles better than the ZMR, and it's a little bit smaller, so actually I quite like the small frame because I can more easily fit through very large gaps, because even very large gaps I find myself hitting things. So having a smaller frame means it's easier to fit a small mini quad through a big hole than a big mini quad through a small hole. But hey, and it just works, just keeps on working. It's the one mini quad I can grab, I can throw in the back of the car, head off and fly whatever, and I know when I come home, all I'm going to have to do perhaps is change a few props if I've run out at the field. Yeah, and the same goes with my other mini quads. I mean, I'm going to be doing the full review of the QAV250. I mean, this thing, I haven't flown this as much as the Blackout, but as you can see, it's had a bit of a hammering. I've damaged one of the antennas. You have to replace an antenna on the receiver, and but look, there's no broken bits. There's no broken bits. There's a bit of dirt on the props, but there's no broken bits. And this is, you know, again, it's been hammered as hard as the ZMR. What's going on? Also down here, if I reach out of shot again, here is the MXP230. This has been totally, it's got 4 cells. It's got 6 by 4, 4.5 inch props. It's got the glass arms. And honestly, this thing has been digging so much dirt, you wouldn't believe it. But look, I haven't had to replace a damn thing. It's still like it's out of the box. Brilliant. Also, I've got the X-Hover, excuse me while I again reach out of shot. This is the version 1 of, sorry, not the X-Hover, I get this wrong all the time. The Quadrasteria Mini Member. I mean, I have my concerns about some of the aspects of this frame, but it handles so damn well. And again, it has been plowed into the ground, I don't know how many times, nothing's broken, it just works. So, the ZMR is something that you're not going to pay much for it, but you're not going to get much for it. And honestly, I'd say if you're learning, it's probably okay, because you don't, you know, you tend to be flying a bit slower and you don't tend to have so many really bad crashes as when you're really trying to squeeze through those narrow gaps. But once you get past that first stage, then I would say when it comes to the ZMR250, unless they're going to do something, unless they're going to make the arms out of better material and make them stronger, make them wider so they got more strength, so they don't go all soft or they don't delaminate like this one has, absolutely awful. When they actually start providing decent hardware, so screws that are long enough to engage more than 3 threads on the spacers, and I mean, even these little bubbles here, these are forever popping out. It's a pain in the backside, the little Mobius mount camera platform thing, although the blackout's the same. The little things on that tend to pop out quite easily too. But yeah, I don't know. I would say this, yeah, I never really fell in love with it, and I'm falling even more out of love with it as we speak. So this may get relegated to the, if all else fails and everything else is broken or missing, I'll use this one, but ZMR250, I'm sorry, the best it gets from me now is a thumb sideways. I mean, everyone's going to write in and now email and put comments on this video saying, oh, you're being unfair, I've got a ZMR250 and I've flown it into brick buildings and it's never even scratched. But, you know, different mileage, different people, different mileage, I suppose. As for me, no, oh, I've got a hole. Oh, let's put a hole in my antenna too. So, nah, and this is becoming a waste of props, this frame. And I've got some fiberglass, I've got the fiberglass one. I'll probably build that up and just see if it's any tougher, because these arms, they're a joke. They're just a joke. I don't know of any other single quad that has broken so many arms, according to so many people all over the world. So hey, there's, as I said once before, opportunity for someone who is into this carbon manufacturing. Make some decent arms for this damn thing. And you can also probably replace those spacers. You can buy these from places like High Model. Aluminium spacers, they have a deeper thread in them, so you can actually use some cap head, proper cap head bolts, engage, you know, 10 mils of thread into there. That'll make a world of difference. You could make this a reasonable frame, but it's going to take work. Why don't you just buy one that works right out of the box? That's what I would honestly do. There you go. That's my bitch and grizzle, my disliked product of the week, and that is the ZMR250. So there you go. If it's your favorite quad, start bitching and moaning at me in the description, or under the description of this video, where YouTube kindly provides space for you to do so, and I'll take everything on board because I'm just one point of view. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you've got more questions, comments, anything like that, do the usual, and I'll see you shortly because I've got to get back to the bench. Bye for now.